Hey there, food lovers. Welcome to Hungry Buddy, the show that's all about delicious, easy-to-follow recipes that make you feel right at home. Today, we're taking a trip down comfort food lane and counting down the top 10 recipes that are guaranteed to warm your heart and soul. We're talking about those classic dishes that make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, the kind of food that hugs you back. So grab a spoon, grab a fork, and get ready to indulge in some serious deliciousness. All right, Hungry Buddies, let's kick things off with a classic mac and cheese. This is not your mama's boxed mac and cheese, no siree. We're going all out with a creamy, cheesy sauce that's made from scratch. We'll start by making a roux, that magical mixture of butter and flour. Don't worry, it's easy. We'll whisk it all together over medium heat until it's nice and bubbly. Then, we'll slowly pour in some milk and cream, whisking constantly to create the silkiest, dreamiest cheese sauce you've ever had. Now for the star of the show, the cheese. We're using a blend of sharp cheddar, creamy Gruyere, and a touch of Parmesan for that extra oomph. Stir it all together until it's melted and luscious. Finally, fold in your cooked pasta, pour it into a baking dish, and top it with a generous layer of breadcrumbs. A quick trip to the oven for a golden brown crust, and you've got yourself a mac and cheese masterpiece. Next up, we're bringing you a dish that's perfect for a cozy night in chicken pot pie. This recipe is all about comfort and warmth, and it's surprisingly easy to make. First, we'll sauté some diced chicken with onions, carrots, and celery until they're tender and fragrant. Then, we'll stir in a simple but flavorful sauce made with chicken broth, cream, and a touch of thyme. Now for the crust. You can use store-bought puff pastry for convenience, but if you're feeling ambitious, why not make your own? It's easier than you think. Spoon the chicken mixture into a baking dish, top it with the crust, and bake until golden brown and bubbly. Serve it hot with a side of your favorite veggies. Let's be honest. Is there anything more comforting than a perfectly grilled cheese sandwich? This simple dish takes us right back to childhood, and it's still just as delicious today. The key to a great grilled cheese is using good quality bread and cheese. I like to use a hearty sourdough or country loaf and a sharp cheddar or Gruyere. Butter 2 slices of bread and place 1 slice butter side down in a skillet over medium heat. Top with your cheese of choice, then add the other slice of bread, butter side up. Cook for a few minutes per side until the bread is golden brown and the cheese is melted and gooey. Serve it up with a bowl of tomato soup for dipping. Pure comfort food bliss. Get ready for a recipe that's perfect for a family gathering. Meatloaf. This classic dish is always a crowd pleaser, and it's surprisingly versatile. We'll start by mixing ground beef with breadcrumbs, eggs, onions, and a blend of spices. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Shape the mixture into a loaf and place it in a baking dish. Now for the secret ingredient, ketchup. We'll whisk it together with a little brown sugar and spread it over the meatloaf. Pop it in the oven and bake until it's cooked through. Serve it up with a side of mashed potatoes and green beans for a complete and satisfying meal. No comfort food countdown would be complete without a big bowl of creamy, dreamy mashed potatoes. This side dish is a blank canvas for flavor, and it's oh so easy to make. Peel and quarter your potatoes, then boil them until they're fork tender. Drain them well, then add butter, milk, and cream cheese. Grab your potato masher or electric mixer and go to town. Mash until they're smooth and fluffy. Season with salt, pepper, and a pinch of nutmeg for an extra layer of flavor. You can even add some roasted garlic or fresh herbs for a gourmet touch. Looking for the perfect recipe for a lazy weekend? Look no further than this hearty and flavorful beef stew. This dish is the definition of comfort food, and it's perfect for chilly evenings. We'll start by browning some beef cubes in a large pot. Then we'll add onions, carrots, celery, and potatoes, and cook until they're softened. Next, we'll pour in beef broth, diced tomatoes, and a medley of herbs and spices. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat and let it simmer for a few hours, allowing the flavors to meld and deepen. The result? A rich, flavorful stew that will warm you from the inside out. Get ready for a recipe that's sure to impress: lasagna. This Italian classic is all about layers of flavor and texture, and it's easier to make than you think. We'll start by browning some ground beef with onions and garlic. Then, we'll stir in a jar of marinara sauce and let it simmer. While the sauce is simmering, we'll cook our lasagna noodles according to the package directions. Now, for the fun part, layering. Spread a thin layer of meat sauce in a baking dish, followed by a layer of noodles, a layer of ricotta cheese mixture, and a sprinkle of mozzarella cheese. Repeat the layers, ending with a generous layer of mozzarella cheese. Bake it in the oven until golden brown and bubbly. Let it rest for a few minutes before slicing and serving. Bellissimo! Is there anything more comforting than a bowl of warm tomato soup on a rainy day? This simple soup is a classic for a reason, and it's incredibly easy to make. We'll start by sautéing onions and garlic in a large pot. Then we'll add canned diced tomatoes, tomato paste, and vegetable broth. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat and let it simmer for a bit to let the flavors develop. Use an immersion blender or carefully transfer the soup to a blender to puree it until smooth. Season with salt, pepper, and a pinch of sugar to balance the acidity. Serve it up with a grilled cheese sandwich for the ultimate comfort food combo. Get ready for a recipe that's both comforting and satisfying. Shepherd's pie. This classic dish features a flavorful ground lamb base topped with a creamy layer of mashed potatoes. First, we'll brown some ground lamb with onions, carrots, and peas. Then we'll stir in a rich gravy made with beef broth, Worcestershire sauce, and a touch of tomato paste. Spread the lamb mixture in a baking dish. Now for the mashed potato topping. We'll use our creamy, dreamy mashed potato recipe from earlier and spread it evenly over the lamb mixture. Bake it in the oven until the mashed potatoes are golden brown and the filling is bubbly. This is comfort food at its finest. Let's end our comfort food countdown on a sweet note with everyone's favorite chocolate chip cookies. These little bites of heaven are the perfect way to satisfy your sweet tooth. We'll start by creaming together butter and sugar until light and fluffy. Then, we'll beat in eggs and vanilla extract. In a separate bowl, we'll whisk together flour, baking soda, and salt. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, mixing until just combined. Now for the best part, chocolate chips. We're using a generous amount of semi-sweet chocolate chips, but you can use your favorite kind. Drop spoonfuls of cookie dough onto a baking sheet and bake until golden brown and irresistible. Let them cool slightly before indulging in their warm, gooey goodness. Well, hungry buddies, there you have it. Our top 10 comfort food recipes. I hope these dishes brought back fond memories and inspired you to get in the kitchen and whip up some comfort food magic of your own. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to Hungry Buddy for more delicious recipes. Ring that bell so you never miss an episode. From my kitchen to yours, happy cooking. See you next time.